introduce your own podcast?
Do I?
I,
You're against intros, aren't you? You
I
always have
am.
been.
I am. Yeah.
You just get straight right into it.
Yeah. I like just
Everybody
jumping straight in.
knows.
I
Do you
like
want me
when
to
they come in the middle of the conversation. But there was no
yeah.
conversation. That's why I said.
Welcome to Idiot Podcast. I'm Laura Clary, your host, comedian, author, mommy.
I hate that so much. I was on a podcast when the gear change was so extreme. I almost just walked out. I was like, I can't take this. You weren't like this a minute ago. You completely changed your personality. 2 people. That's all I'm saying.
Let's pretend, let's reenact what it was. So I'm assuming you're talking to them and you're like, oh,
Talking
hey.
normal, yeah.
And yeah, how's it going?
All right, everything's fine. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
just
good.
the
Okay,
kids are
we're on.
good.
Hi, we're here with Stephen Hilton.
It was that, yeah. It was that. I was like, what just happened?
All the way from the Queen's Country. Tell us, Stephen, tell me about Big Ben.
It was bad. It was bad.
What's it like?
But this is the point. It's much better to just have a normal conversation.
Now, Stephen, I'm told your parents are in town from England.
You know how there's proof that my parents are here? Because
How's
there's
it going?
grapes, i.e. healthy food. I've been having healthy food. All I eat is junk food and chocolate. But not now.
No, because your parents are staying with you for an entire month. They came all the way from Faversham.
Last
all the
Tuesday.
way from last Tuesday, and they're here for an entire month, which I'm very grateful for, because you're in early sobriety now. You have what? How many days?
It's actually day 6 now. I'll be 7 tomorrow.
And how do you feel?
It's up and down. I keep getting little glimpses of what they call the pink cloud, where I feel really great. And then it's sort of, I have the opposite of the pink cloud. So if you imagine the pink cloud as being like up, there's normal. Sometimes I'm like that. Sometimes I'm like that.
So it's
they're getting less. Right. Here's normal. Here's normal. Here's me. Happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad. You know what I mean? It's getting
so it's like
less
you
extreme.
have pink cloud, black cloud.
I love the pink cloud.
We're aiming, don't like the black cloud.
No.
We're aiming for like a blue cloud, a bluish white
just
cloud.
Just a normal cloud.
Normal cloud?
Not even a cloud would be nice. Just normal activities.
No cloud, just clear skies?
That would be amazing. That's never happened though in my entire life.
Because Stephen, that's not life, is it?
No.
What weather
Life's difficult to deal with when you're not on drugs.
Yeah, weather is a good analogy for life. There's just nowhere in the world where it's clear skies every single day. You got rain, you got snow, you got
don't
clouds. You do. You even do in LA.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so
you said life is hard not on drugs.
Yeah. I got 6 months and I went out again.
Loud.
So yeah.
Right.
It sucks. I don't even know exactly what happened. I was doing all the things.
And then what?
But that's the confusing thing about this time, is I wasn't not doing something. I was doing it all. I still went out.
And when you say doing it all, you mean?
Going to meetings, working with a sponsor, going to a separate men's group every Tuesday. Didn't work.
And looking back, can you see why or no?
I was just about to start the official step 1 when I decided to. People say relapse like it just happens. Like it's not. It didn't just happen. Like I decided to take drugs again. So when I decided to take drugs again, I was just about to start.
But I'm just curious, what made you make that decision?
No, I'm not saying to you. I'm just realizing that I just thought of people saying there, relapse is a part of your story. Like this, it just doesn't have to be. You do. I feel like it's always I don't feel like, even now I'm questioning the disease element. I even don't feel like it's a disease now.
Oh,
Right
I
now,
see.
I feel
Like
like
it's a
it's,
choice.
yeah, because I very clearly chose it this time
So do you
because
feel
life
like
is
you're
too
an addict
difficult.
and an alcoholic, Steven?
Yeah, I mean, I've been told for 21 years that I am, so it's programmed into me.
But do you think that now?
I've got questions.
Yeah.
I've definitely got questions because how was I able to moderate and stop?
I don't know. I I when I was drinking and using, I rarely did it every day. I was a binge drinker, so it's like or user. So when I would pick up a substance, I struggled to put it down. But I
Yeah.
never it wasn't like I woke up in the morning and needed a drink or a drug.
Well,
Like that wasn't
that was definitely me with addiction, what you just said there. So it's very unusual for me to be in the state you said first.
where you can stop and start and stop and start.
Yeah, that doesn't make an addict to me in my head
Mhm.
because it's a
So
clear
then
choice to do or not do, and I seem to be able to do it.
okay,
And I don't
what
know what's programming from sitting in meetings hearing the same old thing day after day after day after day after year, and what's real. I don't know what's real and what's just programmed into me from the slogans and the jargon and the.
yeah, you're just questioning it all.
Yeah, I was telling my story on TikTok Live, and I caught myself. Most of the story was stuff that's been programmed into me from AA.
Okay.
Most of the stuff, like, you get used to telling your story in AA, so you've got your
Yeah.
story and you tell it the same way.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, it didn't feel authentic, and I had to keep stopping myself, going, "No, I didn't." I'm trying to think of an example. Um, that was an example there. Addiction's a cunning, baffling, and powerful disease.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "No, that's programming. That's not what I think. That's
Mm.
been programmed into me over 21 years of doing the same thing."
Yeah.
So I'm questioning
Or
all
is
that
that
right
just the
now.
addiction talking?
Right.
The cunning,
Exactly.
baffling, and powerful addiction.
See?
Is that what's telling you that
It's
it's
very,
not a
very
disease?
confusing.
Is your disease telling you it's not a disease?
Yes.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm definitely programmed by the 12 steps, but I don't mind that because I like the program. I like the
No, I
design
get
for
it. Yeah.
living.
I did. I loved it. I loved it for
What is
many
it?
years.
Love and tolerance is our code. Keep your side of the street clean. If you're wrong, make amends. Um, if you have a resentment, become willing to let go, become willing to forgive, become willing to find your part in the situation, be of service, connect, and be with other people. It's
Yeah.
a design for living that works for me. So, yeah, I am a bit programmed
What
by
you
it,
just
but
said
cool.
there
Yeah,
sounded like I've heard that it's a design for living that works for me, is something you say in every
I say
single
it
share that you ever do.
because I love
And I wonder
it's.
if you really know what you're saying or if you're just saying it because it's like, here comes the bit where I do that, you
I
know?
say it all the time because uh, it's the best way that I know how to articulate why the program has worked for me.
So design for living, this is the
Yeah,
stage I'm at. I'm questioning. So design for, what is that
no.
phrase again? Say it again.
So what I say is
Yeah.
that the 12-step program that I'm
Hmm.
in it's a design for living that works for me.
Yes. So
So
the design of it is the
is
structure of the amends and the resentments and
it's yeah, it's a mixture of um prayer, meditation,
that's what I
going
use to stop. When I
prayer.
stop, if I pray, I don't use. That work. That actually does work.
Okay,
But
so
I don't
prayer,
want to
meditation.
pray.
So there's a spiritual component to
Yeah.
it. that works for me. Even though I'm not religious, I believe in a higher power. I like to pray to that higher power, and I like
Right.
to meditate to quiet my mind. So that going to meetings, I like to go to women's meetings and listen to them and then share my truth every single week. So I'm held accountable. I'm not alone. I'm not isolating. They also say it's a disease of
Mm.
isolation. A
Yeah,
lot
that's
of
where
alcoholics and addicts isolate, right?
I could
So,
not connect with I've never been able to connect with anyone in AA, if I'm honest, ever.
okay. But you asked me to tell you what the design for living is. So I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see where I'm falling down. That's
Okay. So the spiritual component, the prayer
I've
meditation,
got that.
going to connect with others in a meeting, which is not natural for me, but it
It is natural for
works.
you. You're incredibly social.
I'm social, yes, but to go to a support group is not that's something I was taught. That's not I wasn't going
No,
to
but you
support
like
groups.
people. You like
I
talking to
do.
people.
Yeah,
So
I do.
that is
Okay, so,
natural.
so then it is natural. You're right. It's natural. I'm a social person, it's natural. So finding a support group to listen to other women and connect with other women and share honestly at a group level takes away
Right.
the shame, takes away the secrecy.
Yeah, I
I
do
get
that.
advice from other women. I like that. And then there's the actual program, which is the 12 steps that you take.
I like that. I like the
And
12 steps. Yeah.
yeah, and that helps me because it clears away the wreckage of my past
See, another one. I mean, it's
so
all
I
true.
can
I'm not
give
saying they're not
freely.
true. I'm not saying they're not true. I'm saying that sometimes I, basically, I'm questioning the whole thing. And when you just said what worked for you then, I was asking because I want to know what I'm not doing. And it's pretty obvious that it's the social side. I don't really listen to other people and I don't talk to other people
But you were
because I'm
going to
not.
that Tuesday night
Yeah, it
meeting, and it
was
was
like,
like a 3-hour meeting where you would
I'm
share and
sorry to
listen to
anyone
other
from
men.
this that's watching this if they see this from them. I tried so hard to connect, so hard, and I just thought I can't do it. I just can't do it. And I would see other people forming bonds, and I just can't do it. It's very weird.
Okay, I hear that. I mean, I'm not gonna say, "Yes, you can." I just recall you, like, telling me, updating me on, "Oh, I went and hung out with these guys from the program," or you would see them every day at noon. You would go and
Yeah,
listen to them and share with them and
but I
reach
never.
and help them,
Yeah, but I don't
you know?
have the social side that other people seem to. When I see other people at meetings,
Okay,
including you, I don't feel like I am that sort of person.
okay.
So
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there's a lot of people in that program that are not social. They're just there and they don't say a word or they don't wanna go hang out and socialize. They're just going because they know the alternative. They don't wanna be alone. They
the
don't want to relapse.
the idea of what they call fellowship and going out with someone with a group of people after the
Mhm.
meeting's over is my worst nightmare. I've never done it in 20 years.
Well, okay. Well, that's not mandatory. And by the way, the 12 steps, that's just one program. Like, I think you wanting to explore other avenues to sobriety is really
Yeah,
cool. And why not? I mean, just because frickin' two men wrote when was the big book written?
in 30s.
In the 30s, two men wrote it when they had a few years of sobriety. One was still
They
using
didn't have more
psychedelics.
than yeah, the guy that founded AA was using psychedelics right the way through until he died.
Okay. So there you go. So we're just like listening to these two men with a few years sober, one of them on mushrooms or whatever. And it works for millions of people around the world.
No, I
That's
do
not,
believe they were channeling something from
yeah.
God,
Hmm.
for sure. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just that side of it is very, very confusing to me. Right, I don't want to get back into that. I don't want to go to meetings. I don't want to start the steps. I'm not interested at all.
Do you want to stay sober?
Yes, that's the only thing I want right now. But I don't want to do AA anymore.
Hey, Bella,
Hey, what's up?
why is life so difficult?
It
Not
can
for
feel tough
everyone.
sometimes, right?
That response. That's most people, right? I don't
What
think most
is
people feel this like agonizing,
What's on
existential
your mind?
whole of death and doom and blackness
that's what you feel now?
all the time.
I'm here for you. What's got you feeling this way?
Right.
It's either small or big, but it's always there all the time.
And since you were a kid,
Hmm. I haven't had a day free of it ever.
and you've been on antidepressants
Been on,
since I've known you on
yeah.
and off.
Hmm.
I just wish I had the answers, and I don't.
But it's the place where my music comes from, I think. I think they're connected. I feel like you have to go to the edges of that place to come back and tell normal people what it's like. As an artist, I think that's your job, maybe.
I just want to ask. I wanted to ask her something. Bella, what is alcoholism?
Alcoholism or alcohol use disorder is a chronic condition where someone can't control their drinking despite negative consequences. It involves cravings, physical dependence, and tolerance. It can impact health, relationships, and daily life. Recovery often involves support, treatment, and sometimes lifestyle changes. If you or someone you know is struggling, seeking help can make a big difference.
What is drug addiction?
Drug addiction or substance use disorder is a condition where someone compulsively uses drugs despite harmful consequences. It changes the brain's chemistry, leading to intense cravings, loss of control, and withdrawal symptoms when not using. It can affect physical and mental health, relationships, and responsibilities. Treatment usually involves therapy, support groups, and sometimes medication. If you or someone you know is struggling, reaching out for help is a great first step.
What if the 12-step program is not working for a drug addict or an alcoholic and they're questioning if it's even a disease? What are some alternative methods to sobriety?
If the 12-step program isn't working, there are many alternative approaches. Cognitive
Oh,
behavioral therapy,
try that.
CBT, is a popular
Okay,
option that helps change thinking patterns. Medication assisted treatment,
try that.
MAT, combines
I've
medications with counseling.
got an implant in my
Holistic
butt.
approaches like mindfulness, yoga, or
Rubbish,
nutrition
rubbish,
focused therapies can also be helpful.
rubbish.
Support groups like Smart Recovery offer
Mm-mm-mm.
a different structure than 12 step.
Stick it up your
It's about
ass.
finding what resonates and feels supportive for the individual.
Well, he says those are all rubbish and stick it up your ass. Are
Who?
there any
Mhm.
other methods?
It sounds like he's pretty frustrated. Maybe something more personalized, like one on one counseling or therapy, could be a good fit. Also, exploring different activities that promote well being, like art therapy, exercise, or even spending time in nature, could offer a different kind of support.
Any of those?
But I can stop. This is the problem.
Sometimes
Okay, hold on, Bella. He says, "Well, I can stop."
And I have
So
been
he
able to for the last
hold
of the
on.
whole time.
So he used to be a binge or a daily drinker, wake up in the morning, drink vodka out of the bottle type alcoholic.
Yeah, I used
Then
literally
he
just that.
got a long-term sobriety. Now he's been in and out relapsing, but he's saying that he can stop. He has the ability to stop for periods. Does that mean he's not a
And
drug addict or
moderate,
an
and
alcoholic anymore?
moderate.
And he can moderate his levels. Can you go from an alcoholic to a normal drinker and or from an addict to a normal user, responsible user?
it's a complex question. For some people, periods of sobriety can create a sense of control. However, addiction is characterized by a pattern of compulsive use, loss of control, and negative consequences. While
Mm.
some people might moderate for a while, it often doesn't last for those with a true addiction.
Mm.
It's important for him to explore what works best for his well being with professional support.
So maybe running this by someone, this idea that you can go in and out and have periods of sobriety and then go back
Yeah.
to controlled using. Maybe you want to run that by a professional.
I've
What are
got
your
a
thoughts on
feeling
that?
that I'm not going to get away with this for very much longer. I feel like I'm walking a tightrope. Like my original plan was to stop for 30 days and then start again. Because my point is like blowing my life up anyway. I live on my own. There's nothing to lose. Like my kids don't live with me. I don't have anything
Well,
to
now they
lose.
can't live with you
No, I
because
know.
you're
I know. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you.
right. So that's something that you've lost. And I'm saying if you can get some time sober again, I mean, before this, they were with you 2 nights a week. They're a mile down the road. You see them all the time. You're so involved in their life, and so how can you say, "I've
That's
already
the
lost it, I
only
have nothing
time.
to
You
live
know what?
for"?
I have to say this. The only time that blackness goes away is when I'm with them. The only time. If I'm with them, I don't get it ever. Isn't
So is
that
that
weird?
not enough of a reason to stay sober then? Because then you actually get more time with them.
Well, no one's got any reason to believe this, and you shouldn't believe this because I'm an addict. I'm probably lying, but I'm not lying. I wasn't using when they were here. And if you could, you definitely shouldn't believe that because I'm an addict, but I wasn't. I don't know. It's so confusing. It's so confusing. So they were enough, is the answer to that. But you're not going to believe the answer. Was I obsessed with the next day when I could use again? Probably a little bit.
Mhm.
So I probably wasn't as present as I. But my mum and dad were like blown away by how great a dad I am. They'd never seen me really parent because they live in a different country. They were blown away. They were like, "You were absolutely amazing with those kids,"
You are.
and they're harsh critics.
Yeah, you are. That's why I wish you would take sobriety seriously and go to whatever length you can to stay sober for your kids.
Well, I am going to. I am staying physically sober right now, but I don't feel like I've got any certainty around the whole subject. It's a big,
It's really hard to do it alone. It's really hard to do it alone.
but it's really hard to do it with anyone else.
Right.
For me,
Mhm.
yeah. So maybe if you're watching this, you've got any ideas, write it down in the comments because I genuinely want to know. I've heard there's other programs called other things, but
Are you interested in talking to your sponsor or who your sponsor used to be and saying, "I don't believe in this anymore. Are there any other
I did
routes
tell
I
him.
can take?"
I told him that I was planning to go out. I told him.
What did
I
he say?
rationalized it. He said that's sounds like I'll read it. Sounds like addiction talking to me,
Mhm.
something like that. So I was like, I'm gonna make a record. I'm gonna take drugs and make a record, just so you know. I told him.
And what about like therapy? Talking to all of this with the therapist?
I must have been to, if you count the 2 rehabs I was in, at least 50 therapists in my life, at least. And only one of them is any good. And I'm
So you're
kind of
happiest when
embarrassed.
you're making music and when you're with your
When I'm with my
kids.
kids and making music, I when I'm with my kids, I don't get the real dark, like real despair moments. I get that when I'm making music, but I can put it into the music.
Yeah.
So there's an outlet for it. What I struggle with is walking down a road, saying hello to someone, sitting, you know, somewhere where one of those two things isn't happening.
What about diving into service? Remember you used to do the thing called H&I, hospitals and
Yeah,
institutions, and you would go visit jails and hospitals
I
and
did do all
institutions
that.
and talk to people who were struggling and lost everything because of alcoholism or drug addiction. What about diving back into that? Remember, and you would tell me that
That
it
was good.
really it got you
That was
out?
that I loved I like that way more than meetings. I would say that.
That's okay. So maybe go back to jails and institutions.
But then I have to do the program in order to get in to do that. And I
There you
can't do it
go.
until I've got 6 months anyway. I haven't even got a full week.
Okay, so that's a good goal to get 6 months and go back to H&I. I remember that used to work for you.
Yeah, that was actually good.
And you'd go into jails and be like, "Hello, I'm Stephen.
I did. I
I'm
used
an
to go into the
alcoholic.
jails and
How you doing?"
I'd be there with like, and sitting next to me would be a guy that had just come out of jail that looked like he totally fit there. And I just was so out of place. So couldn't be more out of place. And the
You're like,
guys
"Hello,
came
I
in.
like your jumpsuit.
Yeah, I
That's a
literally
nice
thought
orange."
these guys are gonna physically murder me. They're gonna physically murder me. And they were like
Might get
scowling.
stabbed.
Oh my God. The first time I did it, it was a really rough prison in Van Nuys, where I ended up going to jail for the night. But I don't think it was that same prison. I think it was that place that I ended up going for the night. But these guys were in long term
Mm.
and they sat down and they were scowling and they had the teardrops, like impressed me kind of thing. And then the guy next to me gave his pitch and they were taking everyone's picture, but they loved mine. They were like it's not an entertainment thing, but they loved it. They were like
Yeah.
laughing, and they came up afterwards, and that was really cool.
Yeah.
And the
That's a good
psych
thing
wards
to
had people completely naked though,
That's
literally
hilarious.
naked.
Just their dicks out. You're like,
I've seen at least
"Stephen
4 naked
alcoholic."
people at Naomi's. That's not an exaggeration.
That's so funny. Oh my god. Yeah,
Yeah,
so like that,
yeah,
but it has to come from within. You have to want it. Sounds like your kids are a good enough reason. Just stay sober.
they're the only reason I'm staying sober, to be honest.
Mhm.
They are,
Mhm.
yeah. And it's tough when I realized that their life is moving on. That's when I lost control this time round. Because I had a pretty good. I didn't feel like I was out of control, and then one night I just really did spin out of control.
Mhm.
That was around not being able to handle them not living with me, kind of thing.
But then it's so self-destructive because by you using, you're ensuring that they're not going
I
to live
know,
with you.
I
Whereas
know.
if you were sober for a long period, they would be able to live with you. And then you would get a few days of a break to be able to write music, sleep through the night.
Yeah,
That's like a perk of your kids living a mile down the road is that you get great time with them, but then you also get time for yourself and for your art.
yeah,
So it doesn't have to be so grim,
yeah,
but by using, you're saying, well, now they're not going to be living with me, so it's just
but they don't have to
self,
physically be because I'm not physically with them. They are growing apart.
but then do everything to be physically with them.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, you can. You can stay sober. They're a
That's not
mile down
gonna.
the road. I have never once denied any sort of visitation. If you've ever wanted to hang out with them, pick them up from school, take them somewhere, come over and hang out with us, you're always like, I've never denied that ever.
No, I know.
So it's not like I'm withholding them from
No, you're
you.
not. No, you're not saying you
Now,
are. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just a bit lost. I want to try ibogaine because why not? And you have to be 30 days sober to do that. And that's why I have to admit, when she told me you have to be sober, I was like, oh, yeah, I can do that. And then I never picked up though. But I got pretty far into that process. So hopefully she'll speak to me again.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, Poppy's best friend came over yesterday
Whoa,
and
gear shift. That was love. Yeah, Frankie.
yeah, and it was great. Kids were running around.
I love it.
Yeah.
She's been cracking my mum and dad up. My God, she's told my dad. She said, "You're a grown man," about something he's doing.
You said you're a grown man to
She's
who?
grown.
You?
My dad was doing something silly, and she was like, "Don't be
Oh.
silly. You're a grown man." And then she said, "You're funny, just like my daddy."
Oh.
And she's just talking the whole time, bringing them books. And the book she bought my mum was Alcoholics Anonymous on Sunday. And my mum said, "That's a book for adults." And Poppy said, well, "You are an adult."
That is very funny.
She's so funny.
Wow.
And
See, even
Alfie.
she wants you to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'm not going to stay sober. Other times I've been scared that I'm not going to be able to do it. That's not what's scaring me this time. Nothing's scaring me this time. I just don't know what the hell to do.
I hate that I had to find out on fucking Instagram that you relapsed.
Well, I
I
didn't
had
feel like
no
talking to you
idea.
after what happened. You were the last person I wanted to talk to.
But you were using even before you got upset over something that I couldn't control.
No, it was,
You were
that's what I'm saying. I was able to control it. I was using like a normal person. Perhaps.
okay, so right. I'm just saying I didn't love finding out
Well, I'm not gonna.
that you were
I'm.
relapsing through an Instagram video
Well, here's the reason
when I
behind.
felt fucking stupid and super deceived and betrayed because literally we were just hanging out, taking the kids for ice cream 2 days before, and you were taking Alfie to
Yeah, that was all
school.
great, but then an incident happened that you know was.
So you're justifying that. Okay.
Well, I pushed the fuck it button consciously and said, I'm going to get so many drugs to numb this pain. I'm going to get as many drugs as I can to lose consciousness. Because I can't deal with this. I can't deal with the pain of my kids talking about someone else. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with them asking me about someone else. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's really tough to know what to do. I don't know why I can't deal with it. I just can't. I just can't do it. So, if you just take as much drugs as possible and then it goes away, the pain, but then it's back again. So, the reason I did the Instagram post, the reason I've made it super public is I don't have AA in my toolbox. So I'm trying to put as many things in the box that used to have AA in it that I can. If I publicly tell millions of people that I'm going to be sober, that might help. I was desperate that day because I was like, I don't want to go back to AA, and I've just used completely out of control for the first time. This is going to keep happening. I've got to call this out somehow now, but I'm not going to AA. So I thought I'm just going to talk about it publicly, and then I look so stupid if I can't do it.
Right.
So I've got that, and I pray. When I pray in the morning and I do my sound work, I have my sound. I do. I've got a sound stuff that I do with binaural beats. If I do that and I pray, and I've added it being public now. There's 3 things.
Yeah, so it's not a secret. I mean, that's cool. The connection aspect, I think, is really cool because I'm sure that's been helpful. Is opening up. Addiction is so stigmatized that it's like cool that you can share what you're going through publicly.
Well, I wonder if it is stigmatized because the reason that I was wanted to pick up in the first place was that everyone is sober. Everyone is sober. Every artist, every musician right now comes from a rich family and they're sober. All of them, because you can't be a musician now if you come from a working class. Was probably one of the last generation that slipped through was able to do it from the working class because you can't live unless you've got multiple jobs if you're in a band. So I just noticed that all the art was being created by people that were of a certain strata of financial comfort and sober. Where's the struggle? What are they writing about? What are you going to
When you
write
say
music
sober,
about?
are
Something
you
boring.
talking they're all recovering addicts and
Yeah,
alcoholics, or
yeah.
just they don't use and drink?
They all don't use and drink. Name me a band or a musician that uses and drinks, because I
How
can't
would
think
I
of any.
know that? How would you know that? And yeah, a lot
Well,
of
no, I don't know about everyone, obviously. I'm just saying I was overwhelmed by the amount of people that were just saying that reading about. And then I listened to Miles Davis' autobiography. That autobiography is my favorite book of all time. It's incredible. And he's an incredible musician. I don't like jazz and I don't like the trumpet, but I love Miles Davis so much. I can't even, all my idols like Bowie, Miles Davis, John Lennon, they were all high as fuck when they were making their best music. All of them. And when they stopped, they kind of lost the goodness a little bit.
Mm. I just think people maybe have evolved and realized how destructive and unnecessary drugs and alcohol are.
This album, my favorite album, was written when he
Mhm.
was actually trying to come off,
Okay,
interestingly.
there you
But
go.
he was
David
still
Bowie got
using.
sober.
Yeah, but then his music wasn't as good.
All right, well,
I
that's
mean,
your story, that's your narrative, so I'm not gonna fight you on that.
yeah,
I mean, some of the best comedians were addicts and alcoholics. Chris Farley, John Belushi,
probably the same thing with
Robin
comedy.
Williams, they all died.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like comedy right now, has got some interesting characters that aren't falling into that.
Falling into what? Not using cocaine or heroin?
Yeah, there's some people that are experimenting back into that world. I love comedy. I absolutely love comedy. I'm a comedy. You always used to call me a comedy elitist, but I'm obsessed with it, and I'm always like looking at the cutting edge of people coming through because I love it. And there's a few coming through right now that are going against everything that's been going on for the last 5 years,
I get being
and it's
not
exciting.
politically correct, like, that's cool, I get that, you know?
There's a bit
Like,
of there's
even
danger, bit of danger again.
yeah, I mean, Dave Chappelle is another one who you probably love, he's, like,
Yeah,
doesn't care about offending, and
no, I love him.
he's always high, but
Yeah.
dude, he's fucking chain smoking
The best
on
stand-up
every
comedian on earth, by the way.
huh?
But apparently by if most people think if you take a poll, he's the number one comedian in the
You
world.
like Ricky Gervais, he's not, using
He's drinks all the time.
does he?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't wanna argue this. I mean,
I'm not arguing. I'm
you think
just
I should I drink and use? Should
you
I?
definitely
So I
shouldn't.
should be
No, you
funnier.
definitely shouldn't.
Yes. Oh my god. This would be better for my next book,
See,
right?
this is why I shouldn't have got into this conversation with you.
Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think I should drink and use so I'm
I don't
funnier?
think either of us should because of the kids. That's what I realized. Because of the
Okay.
kids, neither of us should.
Yeah, because perhaps the kids are more important than making a great album or writing a great book.
Yeah. So you might be having your friend moving into the house.
Potentially, one of my best childhood friends. We'll see.
That's
Can't really.
exciting.
She might be saying they're gonna have a sleepover tonight.
Poppy keeps asking me for a sleepover.
Um, yeah, they're Poppy's best friend and her mom and they have a 8-month-old baby too, are
Yeah.
gonna sleep over, Steven.
They're gonna
Sleepover. I'm so excited tonight.
tonight. Wow.
Yes.
Poppy's
Yeah.
been obsessed with sleepovers for weeks. She
I
keeps
know.
talking
And
about it.
sleepovers are very taboo now, but because you apparently they're just not safe, right? You don't know you might know who the mom is, but you don't know who the dad is or the uncle is or whatever. And
It's
right.
always the males. That's the problem with
So
step parents.
yeah. So obviously this is one of my childhood besties. It's safe here. So we're very, very excited. Very
Yeah.
excited. In fact, the house is full of kids right now. We've got
Oh,
Alfie
yeah.
and Poppy on spring break. They're going
Mm.
hard. Poppy's like, happy spring break. Spring break.
Oh.
Our nanny, Carla, her daughter, who's 7, their her cousin, who's 10, is here too. So they're all in the pool.
Oh, that's
And then
amazing.
Frankie and Sunny are coming over too. So it's a
Wow.
madhouse, which is my
Wow.
dream. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds amazing. That's the only sort of social thing that that sounds
But
good.
yeah, on Sunday it's Easter / Alfie's birthday. So you and your parents come over and we'll do like an Easter egg hunt and a birthday celebration for Alfie.
Yeah.
That'll be
Yeah.
good.
He's been
That'll be good.
talking more. We've
He
got our
over and
thing.
over. I say, "When's your birthday?" He goes, "Say April 6th."
This is
And
April.
I said, "When's your birthday?" "Say April 6th."
Oh,
And then I said, "And how old are you going to be?" "I'm going to be." And he goes, 6.
hold on.
6.
Have you got your phone there?
Yeah.
Just listen to this is rough.
Okay.
This is straight out of Poppy and my session. I'm just gonna play it to you, and I think you're gonna like it. Now, bear in mind this isn't finished at all. This is really rough. It may be too rough to listen to, but
Happy birthday, Alfie. You're the best brother in the world. I love you, Alfie. that you want to play with me, Alfie, and I will give you a card.
What, for his birthday, you're going to give him a card?
Yes.
What are you going to put on it? That's the right key.
Happy birthday, Alfie. You're the best brother in the world.
All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Please comment below if you have a friend or family member going through addiction, if you're going through something similar, or just comment your thoughts and your feelings and let it all out in my comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you want the full unedited version of these conversations and all my podcasts, just go to patreon.com/Laura Clary. Literally, we will sometimes record for 3 hours and then we throw it up immediately on my Patreon. So you get everything there right away. Whereas we cut the stuff way down for YouTube and Spotify because for multiple reasons, but mainly we don't want to get banned. So if you want the full unedited raw version, sorry, I burped when I said unedited. So it sounded like edited, but really I said unedited, but I burped. But if you want all of that, go to patreon.com/Laura Clary. And again, I really appreciate your support and your love. It means a lot to me. And I hope you all have a good day and keep the focus on yourself. Stay on your side of the street because we can't control other people, right? That's what I'm practicing today, right now, in this moment. All right, bye.